Hello, everybody. I'm Roadblock. We're on the free-to-play account. So, gonna be kind of a shorter video here. Um, Mostly because I'm not feeling very well. I mentioned this on my other video. This video will likely not be coming out um, until Saturday during the day. And that's mostly because I want to upload it probably with a thumbnail for this new champion. Let me pull this up real quick if I can find it. There we go. Um, that's smaller than I want it to be, so give me one moment here. There we go. Okay. So I wanted to make a video talking about the new fusion. So this is going to be the new fusion. Um, and I really wanted to say that there's a lot of comparisons to be made about uh Ustrid Dreamsong um to other champions in the game. The A1, attack one enemy with a chance for sleep. That chance is increased if they're under decreased speed or weaken. That is placed by this champion. Um, it's an interesting mechanic, but I'm not a big fan of sleep, to be honest. And for where I would use this champion, that isn't necessarily um, where I would be getting the most value out of her. Um, so I'm not really going to say too much else about it. I'm not a huge fan of the ability. I think it's okay. For an A1, it does something interesting, which is good control, right? But um, it's not my favorite, right? But now we get into the good stuff. So attacks all enemies, has 75% chance of placing a decreased speed and a 25% weaken for 2 turns, and then also decreases turn meters of all enemies by 15%. So a lot of comparisons I've seen have been made to Nekmothar because the kit is very similar, and I like this ability. AOE decrease speed, but you also get to bring a weaken instead of leech. I like that. However, I would like leech a little bit better just for what you need in Hydra. Also, if you guys have been watching, I came up with a very interesting new Hydra team that served me very well recently, and I no longer have I'm no longer desperate for Nekmothar, so that brings this champion's value down a little bit for me personally on my main account. We'll talk about the free to play here in a second. And again, I'm sorry that I'm really low energy, guys. I'm just sick. That's just what it is, right? Uh the A3 we places increased speed buff on the whole team as well as an increased attack, which is great. Um I just noticed that it's on a 3-turn cooldown. Oh, because of the extra turn. Regardless, that's still nuts that that's a 3-turn cooldown. Like there's an it's a 3-turn because she gets an extra turn, but all of the people that she just buffed don't. So they get that buff all the way through until she rotates back into it again. That's good. I that 3-turn not cooldown, but that 3-turn. Oh, but it's on a 4-turn cooldown. Okay. Yeah, so sorry. I was sitting here assuming it would be a 3-turn cooldown, but I get it. I get why it's written that way now. Um and then they also fill the turn meter of all allies by 15%. Again, really good. This is what I would want out of a lead champion in Hydra. Um, I use a similar champion right now We'll talk about all the comparison champions, right? So just let's get through the kit and then we'll compare. Life Bloom, the passive, whenever this champion or an ally has their turn meter increased, heals all allies based on their max HP. The percentage value of the heal is equal to half of the turn meter increased. As far as I know, we don't know what that means. So I don't understand. Oh, the percentage value of the heal is equal to half of the turn meter increase. Okay, so let me read this. Whenever this champion or an ally has their turn meter increased, heals all allies based on their max HP. Okay, so if she's in a team that does a lot of turn meter manipulation for the team, she's going to heal them by large percentages. So if you were to bring a champion that did a 30% turn meter increase, she would heal them by 15%. She would heal your allies. That's how I read that. I could be wrong, but that's how I read that. That's not that bad. I'm not a fan of champions who heal other champions by their HP. You really want a champion that heals by their own HP so you can build them very, very high HP and deliver heals greater than what, so if you're 1,000 HP and you heal somebody for 10% of your HP and they have 100 HP, you're healing them for their whole health pool, if that makes sense. So, roughly. I know there's a lot of intricacies in the coding and stuff in this game, but that's why I like that better than if you had someone with 1,000 HP healing someone with 100 HP for 10% of their HP, it would be 10 healing, right? So obviously those are we don't deal with numbers that low, but that gives you an idea about how small those percentages can sometimes be. So I don't know. It's an interesting champion. On my main account, I don't know that it's a champion that's gonna be used at all. It's definitely a champion that I think I will use on my main, or that I will get on my main account. I don't think I would use them on my main account other than maybe Faction Wars, but I'm stacked on that faction right now by a great bit. So I just don't see where she kind of makes the cut. Her aura being arena battles, I also don't like, and we'll talk about why in a second. So let's look at the champions that she can be kind of compared to. So the first one that everyone brings up is Nekmothar, who is amazing. So Nekmothar has a decreased attack on the A1. His passive is way better because he's constantly getting turn meter. He has a 30% increased speed on all allies for 2 turns and fills their turn meter by 30%. So turn meter fill by 30%. She only does 15% and then gets an extra turn. But again, very similar kits, right? Except she brings increased attack where Nekmothar only brings increased speed, but more turn meter, which is better in my opinion. Then again, we have a 30% decreased speed AoE, but this one brings a leech. And again, I think that's better because it can open up a room in your team. You don't need to bring a dedicated healer per se. However, one could argue that her healing passive may make up for this lack of leech. We don't know until we see it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least close. So I do think she's a fair comparison to Nekmothar, but there's one thing that there's 2 things that Nekmothar bring. 3 things. The passive, the decreased attack, but I love that he has an all battles aura. That means, because the main way you're using these champions is in unison with Inquisitor Shamil. So the idea is you keep the fear head out, and Shamil boosts the turn meter of the leader. So it's written right here. Whenever an ally receives fear or true fear, which is why you leave that head alive, you will instantly remove the debuff and then fill the leader's turn meter by 15%. So the leader would be, in this case, it would be the new champion or Nekmothar, or the other champion I'm about to show you that I like. So, so one of the drawbacks to this strategy, and it's not a big drawback, but one of the drawbacks is that for me, the champions that I have in that role don't have an all battles aura. Therefore, I'm going into the battle without an aura at all. Like I said, it's not a big deal. We've seen success doing so, but one of the things I love about Nekmothar is that I'm also gaining that aura, giving a big boost of speed to my whole team. Whereas the other champions I've used in that role bring auras that don't work in Hydra. So the other champion that I would compare her to, and I think it's a much closer comparison in this case, is Lady Kimmy. So Lady Kimmy fills turn meter by 15% and gives increased speed. She also gives increased accuracy, which can be handy. And then there is a chance, if she uses this ability, that she also can gain block or put block buffs on the enemy, which again is great for Hydra. It's situational though, because really you'd want this before they get any buffs, not after they get any buffs. And she has a very similar A2. Attacks all enemies has a 75% chance of placing. This one does decrease accuracy and decrease speed, which can be handy, I think. And then also turn meter by 15%. But in this case, we're looking at the decreased speed more than anything else. So she brings that AoE decreased speed. She brings the ally increased speed, as well as 15% turn meter. So very similar kit. The A1 doesn't really matter. We're only really talking about Hydra right here. And her passive, so the decreasing turn meter doesn't matter. And then when we receive buff, fills their turn. So she gives extra turn meter with her passive as well. But again, her aura is only in Doom Tower. So the other champion that I kind of use in the role that I feel like this new champion fills, and I've had a lot of great success with now, is Padrig. So Padrig also does turn meter fill, but his is 20% on a 3-turn cooldown, and a cleanse, and the AO and the ally increase speed on the whole team. So he does more turn meter than what the new champion does by 5%, cleanses them as well, and gives them the increased speed buff on a shorter cooldown, on a 3-turn cooldown, right? I think we said hers was 4, right? But with an extra turn mechanic. But he also brings in ally attack, which restores allies destroyed max HP. Again, if you're using this champion for Hydra, he's better. He's restoring max HP and even throwing out a continuous heal to give you a little bit more survivability. But what I absolutely love is that his A1 decreases cooldown of active skills by 2 turns on a 50% chance when booked. And then also brings the correct buff that you would want for each type of champion. Increase attack, increase defense, increase accuracy, or a big shield for enemy max, for HP based. I just think he's better. Again, he doesn't have that aura because it doesn't work in Hydra. It only works in dungeons. But when you compare her to champions that would be in that role as a Hydra lead, I don't think she's as good as some of the current options. However, and this is the important distinction that I think is going to be missed a lot of times when people are having discussions. Most endgame accounts probably don't care about this champion. They've got Lady Kimmy, they've got Nekmothar, maybe they got the new guy I just showed you, or Deacon even. There's a lot of champions that can fill that lead role with a Shamil feeding them turn meter, right? Hell, even you could put, oh, what is his name? Why can't I remember his name? This is how sick I am right now, guys. Yeah, you could put Apothecary in that position. He brings that increased speed and then turn meter by 15%, right? So, there's options for that role. And again, I'm only focused on Hydra. She could have value in Arena, but with all the turn meter manipulation and everything that we've seen, plus Stone Skin is still a thing, we're talking like, is she better than Armand's? I don't think so, right? And so I look at her compared to the Hydra champions personally. Now, I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just trying to make sure that I give a full analysis for you guys when it comes to a decision making time. Do I go for this fusion or do I not? Now, let's talk about my free to play account and a free to play perspective. On a free to play account and from a free to play perspective, I think this champion is great. I think that, I mean, she's still great on an older account too, if they don't have those champions to fill that role that I listed, right? Um, so because of you got the extra turn mechanic, you have the increased attack, granted, and I did mention that the extra turn mechanic, so her cooldown is slightly longer, but it really doesn't matter. It's still a 3-turn cooldown because she gets an immediate turn after. So yeah, I think she's really, really solid, is what I would say. Like, if you have a Hydra team and you don't have a lead champion who's going to get that turn meter fill um from your uh Shamil, and then take that turn meter and give it to the whole team, she could really fill out that role quite well. We don't know what the base stats are, but I would assume she probably has a pretty high speed too. Um, and also bringing that weaken is quite good as well. Um, that's something. Yeah, that's the weaken right here with the decreased speed. Like, I'm not sleeping on that. I want to be clear. Would I rather have Leech over Weaken? Yeah, probably. Um, would I rather have, what's the other guy, bring removing destroyed HP? Yeah. But Weaken is something that I currently don't have on my main Hydra team. So if I was to show you my main Hydra team on the free to play, to be clear, this is the free to play account. I'll be honest, I don't think I have it on any of my accounts, but so we come in here, normal Hydra. That would not be my team. Why is that my team listed? That's crazy. So I would go Deacon, Ursula, Sun Wukong for block buffs, survivability from UDK, Rathalos for damage, Geomancer for damage. If I really, well, he's my provoker as well, so I kind of have to keep UDK in there. But this would be kind of the most optimal team that I could provide going into here. If I was to have the, you know, the lead that I'm referring to, it would change the landscape of this team quite a bit. Maybe bringing a more legit healer like a Rector Drath, but if we had, just as a placeholder, I'm just gonna put Coldheart there, right? So who would I then kind of bring? If I had the new champion in the lead, and then I don't have a Shamil, so that I can't really build the team that I'm talking about, but I still think that down the line when I pull Shamil, because eventually I will, I hope, and Hydra becomes a bigger focus on my account, I would like to bring that champion, right? So Coldheart and then Ugo would be the filler. We'll say that I'm just gonna do Reliquary. This is well, that's a bad example. Let's just find. Do I have any other? There we go. This is just a random but void, right? So this would be Shamil. So this is kind of the starter team that I'm figuring out with, and then probably well, I don't need block debuffs or block buffs because I have that. So then probably Rathalos, Geomancer, and then just an extra damage dealer or maybe extra survivability. or yeah, a healer at that point because we wouldn't really have consistent heals. So then I would probably go with like a Rector Drath. I know Ugo heals, but I'm talking like good consistent heals with a revive. Now, or actually, it'd have to be UDK because I don't have a provoker in this mix. So unless I suppose I could, we're talking way down the line, big, strong provoker, AoE provoker right there. So there's a lot of different combinations I could do, but I see myself using that champion to get more turn meter and get those heads down quickly without dealing with their mechanics less often. You'd be surprised at how many turns you can generate when you're using that. If you go back and watch the when I tested my Hydra team on the main account, I mean, I took so many turns. I did like, I want to say, this is just a guess. I want to say I did like 30 million before my first champion was eaten, which is crazy. And that's all because of turn meter manipulation, because I have so much turn meter manipulation and cooldown reduction on the team that I'm working with now. So, um, yeah, it's just a really, really cool way to attack. So if you don't have a champion like that, they can really help you out. I currently have several, so I don't think that I would need her on my main account, but on the free to play, she is setting me up for success in the future. So think about it in those terms. Like, is she going to be good for me when I get to a point where I'm consistently trying to push higher difficulties of Hydra? Lady Kimmy, when I got her and combined her with an Inquisitor Shamil, really opened up my Hydra game, and now I'm doing Nightmare Hydra. Um, so keep in mind that if you're a free to play and you're not going to have every single legendary in this game, she is an opportunity for you to get one of those turn meter generating champions that really help in Hydra. Okay, enough about the new champion and the fusion. Will I go for her on the main account? Yes, I will go for her on the main account. I'm sorry. Well, yes, I will. I go for all the. It's a fragment fusion, by the way. I didn't mention that, but a standard fragment fusion I think are the better ones to go for, if I'm honest with you. They're a little bit easier because you don't have to go through the process of leveling and ascending champions. You just collect the fragments, and you get to hold on to that champion. So that could be points for an event, whether it's clan v clan or a tournament or whatever later on, which I've demonstrated how that gives you flexibility on your account. Then let's talk about. So we talked, like, I think, will I go for her on the free to play? Yes. I will go for her on the free to play. I feel like I have a really good amount of resources. I didn't have to spend nearly as many resources in the last fusion that I thought I would have to. So I feel like I'm at a point now where the account can consistently go for those fusions. The only scary thing is I'm extremely low on shards going into a potential summon rush. Um, so I'll say yes with an asterisk. If a summon rush will be required, um, if both a summon rush and a champion chase tournament are required, if they're both required, I don't believe I can go for the fusion. Flat out. I don't think I have enough ancient shards. I certainly don't have enough shards in general to complete that tall requirement. Um, but if I'm able to skip the summon rush, I will do everything I can. And then when it comes time for the champion chase, I have a few opportunities in my back pocket. I have these two champions ready to summon. I also have Yakarl. I will have Yakarl ready to summon by then. So there's a good chance that I will be able to complete that event. So if it's one or the other, which it sometimes is, champion chase, I feel comfortable doing. But I don't feel comfortable doing a summon rush because 35 ancients is not going to be enough points to get me through an entire summon rush. So big asterisk there about what I can and cannot do here. Last thing I wanted to talk about, I don't even know how long this video has been. Oh, we're already at 25 minutes. But last thing I wanted to talk about was the Deck of Fate event. I mentioned how excited I was about it. I spent all of my energy on this account, and I got 1,422 points. That's not a lot. So keep in mind that, you know, if you have primals, great, you're going to pull a lot of these cards. If you don't have any primals, you may be stuck only pulling a handful. I will say I wasn't using any tricks. I wasn't doing brews into the food because I would rather save that for a fusion rather than this Deck of Fates event. And remember that this account doesn't need that level of gear as badly as a brand new account. But I will go ahead and pull. Sweet, Deck of Fate, a point, or whatever those points are called, Titan points. Yeah, I'll take those. I'm not going to complain about Titan points. We get some extracts, pretty decent. Let's see, we have 4 days left. I don't think we're going to get the 3-star split soul, but we did get the 2-star. Considering I wasn't really trying for it, not too shabby. And I think I just in case I didn't show this to you guys last time, I did come do the spider turn attack. I think on this account, I don't think I finished it. Yeah, I got up to here, which I literally just have to do one more spider. So you're gonna watch me do a spider real quick. I'll turn super raids on. This team isn't tuned or anything. It's just I threw my 5 best together and they're able to pull it out. So I do have future more consistent teams because I don't think this team is 100% either. It's just the best team that I've got, that I've tried, and it works, and it's consistent enough. It's at least like 95%, I think. I mean, Rathalos just makes short work of any content, really. So, but yeah, the other thing I haven't really talked about, and I'll do that now while we're waiting to see how the spider run goes, is that we are at 953 subscribers. So we are so close to our goal of 1,000. So if you're new here, or if you've been a fan of the channel for a while and haven't yet gotten around to clicking that subscribe button, now is the time that will push me over the hump and get me to that 1,000 subscriber mark, which I'm very excited about because it does open up different monetization options for the account. So looking forward to that. I'm going to release this video Friday night. I do intend to stream Saturday night. However, that is entirely reliant on how good or bad I feel. If I feel terrible, I'm not going to stream. So, you know, I just wanted to be clear about that. So it's tentative. I'm gonna push this video out. I wanted to push it out with a thumbnail, but I'm gonna push it out tonight before I go to bed, just to get something out there for you guys, but also to let you know that I plan on streaming tomorrow. I'll probably do some Hydra. I would love to do account takeovers if anybody's interested in it. My clan does kind of get first come, first serve, but again, I'm not committing to anything. I haven't notified my clan that I'll be doing it because I don't know that I'm going to have the energy to actually stream. So the best way to know if I'm streaming is to subscribe and click the bell, because you'll get a notification, or go to my Discord. My Discord is in the description of every video. If you go into the Discord, you'll get a pop-up every time I go live, and it says, hey, Roadblock has gone live, or hey, Roadblock has uploaded a new video. So you can get notifications there that might be a little less invasive than getting them on your phone, or, you know, getting an email all the time, right? So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that to you guys. As you can see, this isn't exactly a fast run. And I know that I have the capability to build a better team. I have the champions for a better team, is what I mean to say. I just don't, you know, if it ain't broke is kind of my theory right now, and I'm focused on other areas of the game at the moment. Cold Heart will make a big difference when it comes to this particular team once I get her up and in running here shortly. So, all right, that's going to get us another Ancient Shard, which we're definitely going to need as we go into another fusion potentially. I'm not, because I'm not feeling well and I only have 8 hours, I'm not going to push for this. I could very easily get, I would only need about 700 more energy to get this Epic Tome, but I'm not worried about it tonight. And I'll be playing the game all day tomorrow. I have done leveling. I have, you know, said what I was going to do, right? Both Armands and Coldheart are ready to level. I just need to get their food leveled up. So, yeah, I'm going to end the video mostly because I feel like death and I want to go to sleep. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the support. I'll see you in the next video.